got some good news and some bad news after all of that. Hopefully we'll be able to try this thing and see if it works. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ruth Farms. My name is Luke. Today we're here in the shop. It's time for this old T300 to get out of here. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. And I mean, as you can tell, it's not ready to get out of here. But Coleman and I have found another T300, another project T300, about 3.5 hours away. It's in a lot better shape. It has a cab that is operational, has the glass and the door and all that. It's going to need some hydraulic work, but I think between parts off this machine, I think we'll be able to make that machine work and hopefully have a decent unit. So anyway, I want to get this skid steer out of the shop. That way when we get the other one home, hopefully tomorrow, we can actually pull it in here in the shop and then just pull off whatever parts we need off of this one and start working on the other one. Hopefully have us a running and driving Bobcat T300, hopefully here within the next few weeks. We've spent all winter walking around this thing because we haven't been able to get parts since I accidentally burnt the cab sitting out there. And now we really need to be working on the corn planter. But Coleman saw this Bobcat on Marketplace last night, and pretty decent deal, so we're going to go get it tomorrow, I think, and hopefully can get my shop cleaned up and have it where we can work on something else in here in the coming months. Well, we got the track off the T300. That's the second track. Since we're going to use this machine as basically a parts machine, we already got the one track off. We took that track off, and then we can just take and if we need a drive motor or whatever for the other one, all we got to do is pull it off. This is a new drive motor. The other one on this side was bad, but we believe this is a good drive motor, so hopefully we got 2 spare drive motors. We got plenty of spare idlers and sprockets and whatnot. These sprockets here are in decent shape. We got plenty of spare cylinders and hoses, and really a little bit of everything if the other one needs it. Hopefully it's not going to need a whole lot, but what we're going to do now, get this thing out of my shop, we're going to take, it's on jack stands now, we're going to take and let it down, and we're going to drag this sucker out and then try to maybe pick it up between the forklift and my skid steer, maybe both of them together, pick this thing up and get it out of here. Been waiting for this moment for a long time. Y'all are seeing it with me. First time we've seen this shop floor in at least six months. I ain't sure if I can. Well, I got the shop fairly somewhat clean. Ignore the table over here. It's full of Bobcat parts and whatnot, and my table is still a wreck, but we did clean the floor up, got all the oil dry up. I kind of blew out some of the dust. Floor's sweating now. Kind of humid out tonight. I don't think I've ever showed this on camera. We got us a new toolbox back in the winter. Still working on getting it organized. We bought a bunch of tools from a guy, had a warehouse, and it's just a mess around here, but we'll get there eventually. But I've been working on getting everything ready to go in the morning. We're gonna leave out early. Coleman and I's had winch mounts on there, as y'all seen, but we've added these Anderson plugs. Me and him swap batteries back and forth between my trailer and his trailer, so now we can just pull the battery out. We can just pull the battery out, plug it right into each other. We don't have to undo any fittings or anything. We got room mounted a little battery box here. It's got a little lid on it. We can mount our winch remote in there, and got a little cover here. Pretty neat. Got our spare tires loaded up. I checked, add a little oil to the truck, add a little coolant. I don't know if we got a little coolant leak or what. Leaks down every now and again. Check the power steering and everything. Truck should be good to go. Like I said, we got spare tires, we got our jacks, we got our impacts. Hopefully we're ready for the 3.5 hour ride one way tomorrow. And hopefully they got something good to help us get it on there, because 10,000 pound boat anchor, it's gonna be fun getting on that trailer. But see you guys in the morning. We head to above Asheville. There. So we're here to get the skid steer. These guys are loading her up. These guys have a crane picking up the rear end of this machine, and Coleman's just dragging her with a winch right up, working like a top. Looks a little better than the other ones we've been buying. Old Harbor Freight winch is putting in some work. They got a tractor back here for backup if we was to need them, but it's coming on here good. So. Just release it. Just hop out of the way in case something breaks. You got a lot of force now. She's straining. She's straining. Well, we got her loaded. Strapped down, winch down. She's ready to go. Ready to rock and roll. Well guys, we're loaded up. She's chained down. We talked to the guys a little while, and we're headed back towards Asheville and towards home. If y'all remember back, I don't know, depending on where you're from, back in, I guess it was last fall, Hurricane Helene came through and devastated Asheville. Luckily this area didn't get devastated too bad, but it's pretty mountainy down through here, that's for sure. they've done most of the cleanup already, but we got her loaded, and let's get her home and see if we can figure out what's wrong with this whole thing. We have made it back to the farm here. We made it back to the shop, and as you see, the T300 followed. It didn't fall off. Coleman's strap job did the job. Show y'all around this thing before we try to unload it here. Looks pretty decent. Obviously the tracks are getting pretty worn, and the sprockets are pretty well shot. But lucky for us, we got a lot better set of tracks sitting right over there. We got a good set of sprockets on the T300 of mine that I was going to originally fix. But if y'all have been watching and paying attention to us, cab was sitting right here. I was burning some cardboard in this burn barrel and caught the cab on fire. So I lost the cab with full glass, the door, everything. So we've been looking for a good cab, and I bought, this will be the 4th skid steer now that I've bought. And yeah, so we are not Bobcat poor by any means, but here's this machine, cabbed in machine. It is missing one piece of glass over here that I'm gonna have to get. Other than that, I think everything is complete. We're not sure if the air conditioner or anything works on it yet. I was told it has around 3,500 hours on it.
I'm not even sure if it runs.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure it runs, but the guys that we talked to seemed very friendly and very upfront about everything. And we got a pretty good deal in it. So we're hoping we can take parts from my other 300 and make this one work. The issue it's having is, if y'all can see up in there, this is the back side of the drive motor. That's not supposed to look like that. That is the brake chamber side of the drive motor. The brakes are internal in there, and it blew the cover off. So from what we were told, the guy that we bought it from, he worked on it for another customer. They were on a job site, and it blew that cover off. Well, they took everything apart, put a new drive motor on it. Apparently cleaned the what am I looking for here, Coleman? Case drain filters. Replaced them or cleaned them or whatever. Put the new drive motor on it, and as soon as they basically fired it up and started giving it some throttle, it blew it out again. So we got to figure out why it's doing that. But we've got a brand new final drive on my 300 that we had bought to fix it. So we've got a brand new final, or a brand new rebuilt final drive. But this machine is pretty much complete already all together. It looks a lot better than mine. Like I said, again, the cab is not burned up on it. So we have a good cab, minus one piece of glass. I mean, there's gonna be plenty of work to do on it, but hopefully we can get this one running, and then maybe not this year because we're pretty much done with chicken litter for this year, but maybe for next year we'll have a nice air-conditioned cab to stay out of the stink of the chicken litter. We'll find out though. We're gonna see if we can fire this thing up, make sure the motor and all runs before we pull it here in my nice clean shop that y'all just got done seeing, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
y'all listen at that puppy run. The air conditioning even works. I know y'all can't feel it. Well, that tickles an old boy to death. We just need one window right here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a local machine, RS Bradswell. Just got to get our hydraulic issue figured out. I think we'll have a nice Bobcat. The motor sounds good, no smoke. I think we come out on top. All right, guys, I think we've already found our issue here. All right, so on these skid steers here, the case drain filter is off right now, but there's a case drain filter. It's a little silver cartridge, almost like the one you see back there. All right, that sits right here and basically relieves the pressure and drains all the excessive fluid from the drive motors, the fan, different things like that, and it resorts them back into our hydraulic tank. Well, when the previous wheel motor went bad, or what we're suspecting happened, is the previous wheel motor started going bad, the brakes, and that filled this case filter with metal. Well, what we're thinking happened now is a chunk of that filter actually broke out, and this line right here goes from the case drain filter into our hydraulic tank. So this is the final place all the oil comes to before it goes to the tank. Well, if it shows up in there, y'all see that little bit of a brass looking into that? Well, that's the chunk of the case drain filter, and that was plumb full of metal right there, coming from the case drain filter, trying to get to the tank. So what we believe happened is when that case drain filter broke, it filled that line full, which caused excess of back pressure, causing this drive motor to fail the first time. Well, the folks that worked on it, that we bought it from, they took those filters out, replaced both of them, cleaned everything. Well, they didn't check that hose, and they put this new drive motor on it, and as soon as they fired it up, all that excessive pressure caused the new drive motor to blow out. I want to take y'all down here and show you where Coleman blew that hose out. All these little chunks of metal were in the end of that hose. And more. This is just what I found sitting here on the floor. But we're pretty sure that's our issue. So, if we're right, all we have to do is clean that hose out, clean all our filters and everything, pop that track off, pop my new drive motor on it, and this thing should be ready to roll. Fingers crossed. At least we did find something that we think is wrong. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Well, we got some good news and bad news. We're pretty certain that where that case drain filter exploded or whatever happened and clogged that line up, pretty certain that's what caused the issue. Well, the next issue that it also caused was it filled the hydraulic tank with lots of little metal shavings. Instead of taking all this stuff out to get the tank out, we took the hydraulic hose off there with the fill hose, and we took that plug out, and I took a magnet, stuck down there and got as much as I could. Then we repeatedly filled it full of diesel fuel and took the drain hose and the main inlet hose off the bottom of the tank and flushed just as much as we could out of it. And I stuck my flashlight in there and looked as much as I could, and I didn't see any more flakes of anything. So I am hoping we got everything, and I'm hoping what little bit we ran it and what little bit they ran it hasn't ran a chunk through the pump and caused pump issues. But
at this point, the damage is done.
Yeah, at this point it's done. If it is, we'll just have to put pumps on it. So we've got all that put back together now, cleaned up as good as we can, got the case drain filter cleaned and put back on correctly. Got it full of hydraulic fluid. So what we've got to do now is we got to jack this thing up and loosen the track tension on this thing and pull this track off, because we have to pull this brand new rebuilt drive motor off, because it, as y'all have seen, it is kind of exploded back there off the back end of it. And we're gonna put the new one, or the new rebuilt one that I bought for the other T300. We're gonna put it on there, put my good sprocket on it, put the good roller back here, because this roller right here is supposed to be round, and as y'all can see, it looks like it has teeth on it. Not sure if the bearing's locked up in it or what causing that, but Anyway, we got to put new sprocket, new drive motor, new roller, and we got to put one of our new tracks over here on it. And then, after all of that, we hopefully will be able to try this thing and see if it works. Fingers crossed. That's good. Lift on up. So we've got our bleeder screw here. You ain't gonna be able to go back up a little bit. All right. We've got our screw here. This is where you grease it, the track, to tension the track. We've got our bleeder back here loosened so that as Coleman's lifting up on this track, it's pulling the idler tensioner up there, it's pulling it back. That way we'll have the slack on this track to be able to pull it off. Y'all can see the grease pouring out there. That's relieving tension on this track. Woo, what a job. That got it off finally. Only took half the machine apart. Woo-hoo! He's off. Finally. Alright guys, so we robbed our parts from our other T300, the original one. We got a new idler back here because the other one was very much warped and wore funny and whatnot. We got our brand new rebuilt drive motor that's never had oil in it. It's been sitting in my shop for months. Come down. Come down.
Down?
Hold on. Come on down. Hold on. Hold on. Don't. Come down. We're gonna have to do this part by hand. Pick up just a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit more. All right, right there. We'll push in. Might do that. Oh, dang it, I'm making it worse. Go ahead and tighten my side up, and then I can be working on them lines. See if it's gonna blow again, and we're gonna be out a bunch of money, or if we're gonna make be a happy day and get ready to put a track on and drive this thing off the trailer. God dang, you gotta watch. You can't do that. I've done it twice now. Heavy hand right there. Hurts. Just remember that. Oh. We ain't got no power. None. Do you unhook it? Did you unhook it? I ain't done nothing.
Well, you should have power then, because the starter's spinning over. Hold on, that thing kicked in.
Alright guys, we got it back going. The dash is bad, so of course something always, but we're gonna fire it up and just see what the drive motor looks like, see if it's gonna hold together or not, and then tomorrow we'll throw the track on there and actually see if it's gonna work. Make sure we ain't got no leaks and whatnot.
Well, if you guys don't know already, if you ever buy a Bobcat, if you think you've got everything ready to go, you better hope you don't have an electrical issue. That's the only thing with Bobcat is electrical issues, I swear.
The battery jumper on it, I don't know if I ain't got the actual jump box hooked to it this time.
I guess it could just be the battery's dead or something.
I can't imagine it would work. I mean, you had the jump starter on it, so that should have had plenty of...
Who the frick knows? There honestly ain't no telling.
Forward movement. We have rearward movement.
This is my stick trying to fight me. I guess this side's trying to drive.
Just hold back on that track a little bit when you're pushing out and forward. Oh my gosh. Someone stole my Bobcat. Oh, wait a minute. How'd he get it off the trailer? It drove itself off, y'all. And I didn't bring y'all with me. So we got to work on it last night. It got dark on us. My GoPro died. I didn't get to bring y'all with me, but needless to say, we got the right side of the track, that drive motor swapped out, and then we also got the track put on it, and it actually drove off the trailer. That being said, we are having some issues with it throwing a fuel solenoid code. I think it's fuel solenoid hold circuit short to ground or something, but the battery that was in it is like almost completely dead. So I just went and picked up a battery. We're gonna throw in it and see what it'll do now. Still not sure that the problem's 100% solved, because I felt like with me traveling in it at full speed, it felt like I was bogging the motor quite a bit. So I don't know, I'm gonna check all the fluids again, top everything off, put this new battery in, and then let's just see what happens. See what's going on. Maybe it's just this new drive motor needs breaking in, I don't know. We're gonna figure it out and see what this thing will do today. All right, we got us a nice new battery here. Let's get this puppy installed. Ah! Alrighty, battery's installed. Let's see if it'll crank. Oh yeah, we're reading 12.5 volts now, which is what we want to read. Alright, it might still be doing the same crap it was doing. Alright, still got the same issue. Still got to figure this out. Well, I got her fixed. It ended up being the fuel solenoid on the injection pump right here. I did some research and I ohmed it out. And one lead is supposed to be like 3 to 4 ohms, I think it is, or 3 to 5. And the other one's like 20 some, and mine was reading like part of an ohm and then 3 ohms. So put this new one on there. Well, not a new one. I've got a couple of spare engines. Then we have 4 spare Bobcats. Threw a spare one on there. Worked like a top. See how it does now. All right, y'all. So that has apparently fixed our issue. I went ahead and bolted our boards back up in here. The S250 that we got from Georgia had basically a brand new one of these panels. Y'all can tell how good it looks. All the buttons look really good. So I took that one out of the 250 and replaced it with this one, because the plan right now is for me to keep this machine, and we're going to fix the other one and sell it. I also had, let's see here, this was the cabin air filter in this 250, or this 300, excuse me, and I had purchased new cabin filters for the other 300 that, you know, y'all know the story on that one. I'm going to go ahead and pop those in here right quick. That way we'll have a good clean cabin air. The air conditioning was working last night, but it didn't feel like it's working today, so I'm not sure if I got a relay. We swapped some relays around last night, or this morning one. Not sure if I got one of those is going bad or exactly what our issue is, but I'll see if I can figure that out. I gotta figure out how this thing goes in here. Much more better, much cleaner. And there's also an outside cabin filter. Well, I found the other cabin filter, and what a cuss. Right back here behind the cab here, this little bolt thing that holds it on right here, it had broke off. I drilled and tapped the rivet. It's like an internal threaded rivet in there. I think I can raise the cab up and maybe get a nut on it, maybe. If not, I'm gonna have to buy a rivet gun. That side over there I got out. But there was our old filter, and here's the new one. Boy, that thing was gross. Whew. That should cool much better. Well, I got our new cabin air filter in there. Ended up just taking this, drilling that rivet out, and then it was the perfect size hole to tap it to a 5/16 thread. Just put a 5/16 bolt in there. And the other one, I just took and put the original screw back in it for now. Figure if one day I gotta change it, it won't be that hard later. So let's see what we can do next. Well, I took the old girl out, and she still got some issues. I don't know exactly what's going on, but something about when you give it, you go try to go wide open or pushing in the dirt, it's like it's dragging a little bit. It's bogging the motor down. But anyway, I went to push up a few scoops of dirt I had in the edge of a field, and smoothing it out. Got something on this side that's happened. Not sure if a line's blue or what. It didn't blow the back off like it did before, but I'm not sure exactly what's leaking. But unfortunately, to check it, we got to pull this freaking track off. So I got to take this cover right here off, and then release our pressure, and take this track completely off. So, joys of owning a track machine, right? Alright, so the culprit of the leak was where this housing bolts to the brake housing. A big bolt had come loose. But the original owner, what he had done was, when it done all of its thing with the brake, when it blew the brakes off, side of the brakes, the Allen head's on the back, there's a cover, and it blows that cover off. Well, I don't know if he replaced this one just because, or if it done it originally, or whatever. Anyway, this is an original drive motor here, and the new one, or the rebuilt one he put on, was on the right side. Well, the right side is the one that blew last time. Y'all can see sitting here, it blew this cover off. That's the brakes there itself. So we just took that one off and put my new rebuilt one that I'd purchased from Texas Final Drive here. So what I'm thinking about doing, I don't think anything's really wrong with that Final Drive, but since we do have one that we know is good right here, I'm thinking about pulling that Final Drive off that side, taking the backing plate off of that one, putting on this one, and then we know we've got 2 rebuilt ones on the machine, and that would eliminate Final Drive issues. Don't really think that's our power issue, but who knows what it could have been. Anyway, but being the track is off and everything's off, I don't know that it wouldn't be smart just to go ahead and swap it out. Swap this severely worn sprocket off, and this it's starting to get very worn roller off. It's not supposed to be like hexagonal shaped, if y'all, it's not really hexagon, but anyway, you get what I'm saying. It's not a perfect circle. It's supposed to be round. The other one was really bad, but I've got the spares off my other one that we threw on the other side while it was off. So I'm thinking, while I got it off, might as well just go ahead and pull this sucker off and replace it. So upon doing a little further diagnostics, I went ahead and pulled this wheel motor off. Like I said, this was an original, or at least an older wheel motor. The other one that blew out was a better one, a rebuilt one. But after getting them out, I was going to tear this one, the brake side, apart just to see what it looked like in there. Well, the way I understand it is this hydraulic fitting here is what your charge pressure, which is 3,400 PSI. It puts pressure here, and that's supposed to relieve your brake. Well, when I started putting pressure there, I blew out oil out this port down here, which from what I understand, it shouldn't do that. And the other wheel motor over there, I done the same thing and I didn't get oil out of it. So I think that wheel motor there, that one of the seals or something is shot in it. And I'm thinking maybe what was happening was that side over there, maybe the brakes weren't releasing on it properly. Maybe that's what caused all the issues altogether in the first place. And maybe that's what's causing my issues now with it bogging the engine. We'll just have to try it and see. I've got the cover off of that one over there, or off of this one, off both of them. And I took this cover and I've just got it sitting on there right now. But I'm gonna try to put it all back together maybe tomorrow sometime. I'm hot and tired for the night, so I'm gonna go in here and get some rest. See y'all tomorrow. All right, guys, so let's talk about the Bobcat T300 behind me for just a few moments here. Last you guys saw, I was pulling this left side track and the drive motor off. What I ended up doing was taking a good backer plate that goes on the brakes. I put on the drive motor that came off the right side, which was supposedly a rebuilt motor. I put it back on this side, and then I reinstalled our newer sprocket and our newer roller because the ones that were on it were wore out. And then I reinstalled the track, and I apologize I didn't get any of that on camera. It's just tough trying to do all this stuff in a hurry. You know, me staying busy. It's hot as crap yesterday when I was working on it. Anyway, we got all that back on there, and I believe our engine power issue is better. I know for certain our charge pressure, which is the pressure that releases the brakes, I know for certain it's better. What happens when one of those drive motors go bad, especially on the brake side, is you have a brake side, so you got a plate, then there's a piston in there for the brakes, and there's a spring washer in there that pushes this piston in under normal like sitting like it is right now. So that spring washer pushes that piston back. Well, to release that piston, to allow the brakes to unlock, hydraulic pressure has to blow against that piston and push it this way. All right, well, there's a seal on this side of that piston between the actual drive motor itself and the brakes. What happens is that seal will blow out, and then the hydraulic pressure that you're pushing to push that brake piston over, it bypasses through the wheel motor and out the case string. Well, what I believe was happening on the drive motor on this side was that seal had blown, allowing that hydraulic oil to bypass, and then the brakes don't fully release and they kind of drag, sometimes on one side, sometimes on both sides, but that ends up causing big type of failure like what's happened. The brakes start dragging, they get hot, they come apart, and then that material fills that case drain filter up, and then that case drain filter fails, just like what you saw here, and it blow out the piston. It's kind of a worst case scenario what happened to this machine, but I believe we have that issue figured out now. I can release our brakes while sitting in the cab and monitoring that charge pressure, and it only drops a few psi for just a few seconds, and then it returns to normal, which leads me to believe that it's releasing the brakes just fine. But we still have our issue where going up a hill or doing a lot of pushing, we run out of power. So I'm still not 100% confident we don't have an issue with the hydrostat drive motor somewhere in there, but I think we have some sort of engine issue, and I'm leaning more towards some type of a fuel issue. I think the first thing I want to do while I've got it in the shop is these machines have a pickup tube that goes down into the tank, and it has a screen on the end of it as well as a check valve. I'm curious to see if that screen maybe is stopped up and maybe starving this machine for fuel. The previous owner who had hired the mechanics to do the work, the ones that I purchased the machine from, they had just went through and fully serviced the machine. So it's hard for me to believe that the fuel filter would already be stopped up, but we may go ahead and just change it. I should have one for my other machine, but just change it just to see if that could be the issue. But I'm thinking more likely it's probably coming from that pickup tube, and maybe it's just starving our engine for fuel. Or at least that's what I'm hoping we're going to find. Hopefully it's something simple, and hopefully we can get this machine back going, because it is a pretty decently nice machine, and we still have a few other things I want to install on it. This machine originally came with a hydraulic quick attach, which is where you latch your bucket on it with a button inside the cab. It's got a hydraulic cylinder that latches the bucket. This machine originally came with it, but for whatever reason they took it off. I don't have the parts that came with the machine, but I actually have parts for my T300. So hopefully we've got enough parts to be able to make that thing work again. Being a cab machine, it's kind of a pain in the butt having to get in and out of that cab to latch and unlatch equipment. And I really love it on my John Deere, so that's one thing I really want to try to get working on this machine if we can. Well, guys, after we're pulling both of the return and the inlet side, the hoses that come from the fuel tank to the ejection system, I'm assuming maybe these K-Series don't have a strainer, or somebody took it off, but neither of them had a strainer in the tank. However, I did take the fuel filter off, and we drained it out. My bag's leaking here, but as y'all can clearly see, we got water mixed with our fuel. And probably what y'all can't see, you might can see it there in the bottom, that dark material, that's algae. So I think we're definitely got a fuel issue, starving for fuel. Coleman had the same issue on his, and he put an inline filter before this filter, just to kind of help catch that algae until we get it all out. So I guess we're going to do that, and then we'll just have to keep running it and slowly get our water out as it goes. But hopefully we have found our issue. We've definitely found an issue, because it doesn't take much water or algae to really stop up a fuel filter fast. Like I said, they had just done this fuel filter not long ago, so you wouldn't have thought it would have done plugged up, but it obviously has.